Hey, Walter Sorrells back with another Knife Making Friday 5. Today, make or buy. So almost anybody that pursues a craft is in infinite search for new tools. And, we sort of have to look around and say, all right, is this something that I want to go out and buy, or is it something that I want to make? Let me get back to that question in a couple minutes. So first, a big thanks to my Patreon supporters. Really appreciate all your help. While I'm on that subject, I had a comment from one of the Patreon folks on my Friday 5 last week, who said, hey, I signed up for this channel, in hopes of watching more videos about how to make knives. And here's the Friday 5 thing coming around every week, which is mostly more sort of philosophy and, basically Walter blabbing. That wasn't the way he put it, but that was kind of the gist of his message. So let me make a couple points about the Friday 5s and, why I'm doing them and, where they fall kind of with respect to this channel generally. In the past, I've always done about 4 videos a month. How-to videos, at least the way that I do them, are very, very time consuming to do. Especially the ones where I actually go from, 0 to 100, all the steps in making a knife. Those videos typically take about 30 hours to do. As you may expect, that means that's 30 hours that I'm not spending putting food on the table for my family. So I can't do one of those every week because it would be essentially a full-time job. If I do 1 or 2 of those a month, that's a pretty good month. So the Friday 5s are intended as an additional thing. There's always a sort of context to why you do and how you do the technical things that you do in the practice of any craft or profession. And some people are interested in reflecting on those things and, pondering about why they do what they do, and some people aren't. So a lot of what I'm going to do in these Friday 5s is really talking about that, thinking about why I do what I do. And if that's not of interest to you, that doesn't mean I'm going to be cutting back on the how to do things, the technical videos. Those are still coming, and I'm putting them out just as fast as I always did. All right, so at the top of the video, I mentioned something that, I was thinking about recently, which is making versus buying tools. The reason I started thinking about this is, I did a video earlier in the week about how to make a knife maker's vise. Super duper simple project, and it's one of those like, why didn't I do this thing a million years ago? Because it was so easy. A lot of people, I think, tend to frame this issue in terms of like, well, is this going to be an expensive tool, or can I save some money by making it myself? Now, realistically, all tools cost money, and so money is part of the equation. If you're doing this as a job, or maybe it's a part-time job, but you make a little bit of money with it, then an important part of the equation is to ask yourself, is my time better spent making knives that I can sell for money, or making a tool? A lot of times I think people make tools because it's fun to make tools. I used to get emails from this guy, and I got them for probably over the course of about 2 years. And he would send me pictures and videos and stuff about these tools that he was making, basically knife making tools. And they were beautiful tools, and he spent lots of time on them. Month after month, he was sending me a new video, a new picture of some really cool tool that he made. Some of them were just way nicer than tools that I owned. But I never saw him sending me pictures of knives. It was like he was spending all this time preparing to do this thing so that making the tools actually was way more important to him, I think, than actually making knives. If you're doing this for fun, then hey, what's the difference? If it's fun for you, then that's what you should be doing. And don't ask the larger question of, is it really worth my time to be making all these elaborate tools when I could be making knives? So my personal bias is, first and foremost, I'm a knife maker. So my question is always, if I'm going to invest time in making this tool, am I, subtracting more time from my knife making? My metric on making tools is sort of, how much is this going to contribute to my knife making? And I make the minimum tool to accomplish the goal of making the best knife possible for me. So I want to spend as little time making tools as I can in order to make as many knives, or as high quality knives as I can. So at the end of this video, I'll give you a little flavor of the kind of tools that I've made over the years. Some of them are pretty nice, I think, but a lot of them are, you just look at them and you think, well, that's a total piece of crap. But for me, the question always is, does it do the job? Does it get me back to making knives as quickly and effectively as possible? Like I say, no right answer on how to do this, but that's, kind of a way of framing the question if you're facing, hey, should I make this tool or not? So if you haven't watched the video that I made earlier this week about making a knife maker's vise, especially if you don't have a knife maker's vise, I'd really encourage you to watch it. And there are other guys on YouTube that have made other much more elaborate and, high quality vices than this one. So anyway, it's one of those tools where the amount of time that I invested in making the thing was so small compared to the value of that tool. I'm really kind of kicking myself for not having made one long ago. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Friday. So these are little wooden forms that were used to shape Japanese sword fittings. They were replaced eventually by these. Still not great examples of American-made craftsmanship, but they did the job much better than the wooden ones. Some little scabbard chisels made for carving out the internals of scabbards for Japanese swords. This one, same deal. Originally, I didn't even have a handle on it, and it got a little uncomfortable, so I put this lovely piece of wood on the back there, but it, works great. This fine piece of craftsmanship is made out of cutting boards. It's a little form for shaping something called a kashiro, which is the butt cap used on Japanese swords. It worked okay for a while, but I replaced it with a much nicer looking metal one. But I got several years of use out of it, and it worked okay. And you better believe I didn't burn up a whole lot of time making it. I call this a habaki slammer. Incredibly useful little tool. This is a plane for shaving out the inside of curves on a Japanese scabbard. Filing jig. I use this for wrapping the handles of Japanese swords. Basically, the core of the handle slides onto the piece in the rear, and the front attaches into a vise. Really ugly, but works great. This is a magnetic gizmo for flattening stock on the platen of your grinder, so you can stick things on there and just grind away with them. A knife maker's center scribe. So there's not really any lesson in all of this. Most of these were just kind of slapped together out of whatever I had at hand. Had some kind of little problem. I needed to solve the problem, so I solved it with whatever I had, and I didn't go to great trouble to track down really high quality materials, or go to the ends of the earth to find something that was perfect for the job, because most of the time spending less time to do something that's going to work well will get you back in the game of knife making quicker. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hey guys, if you found value in this video, I hope you'll consider partnering with the channel to help us bring more videos, better videos, more knives, more techniques, all that cool stuff. Click the link to Patreon to help this channel. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, bro, what are you waiting on? And check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, if you're into Japanese swords, check out my website, waltersorrellsblades.com, where you'll see more of my work and where you'll find videos about the making of Japanese swords, along with mounting, fittings, polishing, hamones, all kinds of good stuff. Now, more videos.